What's going on, everybody? TwoWheelTrigger. It is Friday. Finally Friday, and I am on the way to take this bike to drop it off at Harley. And then I'm heading out to the mountains for the weekend for some family time. But this thing has to go back to Harley because, one, it's in need of a back pad for the top case, so that if I have a passenger, they can ride without pain. And more importantly, it's in need of this stuff being straightened. So we're going to do a little bit of warranty work, get that done. One of the techs has to throw a tether on one of the panniers because that one was missing. So that came in. So they're going to put the new pannier tether on for the top case, or for the pannier, the top lid tether. They're going to re-PDI. This bike was dealer transferred for me. And apparently the dealer that originally received it, the guy that does their PDI must be cross-eyed because all this crap is canted to the right. Especially noticeable down on the display at the bottom. With me sitting perfectly straight line, I can see that it's 11:19 a.m. in the bottom left corner. The bottom right corner is covered up by the riser. So they'll fix that. They'll get it all looking right. And yeah, and then they'll go ahead and install the back pad for the top case. So of course today, joking with my wife, I mentioned, yeah, you know, maybe I'll just ride the whole way there. And she said, I don't care. Dude, what? If I would have said that I was gonna ride the bike there and she needed to follow me, I probably would have got a little bit of pushback because this is a family vacation, not a TwoWheelTrigger goes to the mountains to ride by himself vacation. But she tells me she honestly wouldn't have cared, so that would have been cool. There's still some unseasonably warm weather right now. I mean, it's only going to be like a high of 55 or something like that where we're going. But it's high enough that there's no snow on the mountains yet, so they haven't started making snow for the ski slopes, which also means there's not snow on the roads, which also means I could have ridden as much of the Blue Ridge Parkway as I probably wanted to. But that's okay. This trip is about family time. We do this trip once a year. We're going up there to stay in an Airbnb, which is a new experience for me. I've stayed in an Airbnb, but I've never rented one myself. So I rented us a house. That way the whole family can kind of spread out and relax. Gonna go pick out our Christmas tree at Frosty's Choose and Cut Farm. I believe this is the opening day today, so that'll be cool, or maybe it's tomorrow's the opening day. Yeah, and then of course we're gonna eat at the Daniel Boone Inn in Boone, North Carolina, because if you've never been, it's amazing. It's family style, all you can eat. You do not go in and order anything. It's a menu that everybody gets the same thing, but you do not leave that place hungry. And if you do, you did not do what you should have done. And that is show up hungry and take your time. You get fried chicken, you get biscuits, you get a limited supply of country ham biscuits. That's the only thing you do not get extras of. You get Brunswick stew, you get fried apples, macaroni, I believe, you get corn, green beans, probably some coleslaw, and I'm sure there's something else I'm missing. But yeah, you get all of that. It's one price, and it's a good time. It's a good meal, so we're looking forward to it. So that'll probably be dinner tonight. We'll go tomorrow to pick out our tree. We'll hit up Mass General Store, the original one near Vallecrucis. And then after that, probably hiking somewhere along Grandfather Mountain. We are bringing our dogs with us, which is another reason we wanted to rent a house. I found a house that was dog friendly. They just ask that when you leave, you put them in their crates inside of the laundry room. And then they also ask no dogs on the beds. So we can definitely do that. Which reminds me, now I've got to tell my wife she's got to grab the dog kennels and bring those with her as well. Man, my car is going to be packed. So we got all that going for us. And then, yeah, last year I got one hotel room at the Hampton Inn. That one hotel room cost me $540, something like that, for one night. And I want to say we stayed 2 nights last year. That's right, we stayed 2 nights last year. It was about $800. This year I went and looked, and it was going to cost me $540 to rent a hotel. Then I get on Airbnb and figure, well, let me see, you know, maybe this is cheaper, or maybe it's not cheaper, but we get some more room. And this house cost me $540. So score. I'm really hoping we have a good experience. Last year we stayed in the Hampton, and we had a room pretty high up, and it was so windy that I didn't sleep all night, either night. I woke up at one point because the metal on the outside of the window was flapping and making little tapping noises. And let's see, I think I'm getting a call. Nope, no call. But I can hear myself, so that's weird. So yeah, we had the tapping noise, and then on top of the tapping noise, oh, I gotta get rid of this, whatever the heck is going on. Testing, why am I hearing myself? I don't want to hear myself. That's one way to do it. We'll just cut the helmet off. Alright, so now that I figured out what was going on with the helmet, or didn't figure it out and just cut the damn thing off, where was I? So we had the tapping noise outside the window from the little piece of metal that was flapping. I look outside. Y'all, the trees were blown all the way over. You know the little dog waste stations that they have? They're usually green, and they have dog waste bags in them. Literally, all the bags were flying like a big tail in the wind. It was unreal. And the next morning, my God, it was cold. So I remote started the car. Then I remote started the car again. Then I couldn't remote start it anymore, so I ran outside, started it, moved it, cut it off, and then I remote started it 2 more times. And still, when we got in that car after the 4th attempt, it was still freezing cold in there. I don't remember what the temperature was, but it was unbearably cold. You know, this year the car will be right outside the door, so packing up to leave on Sunday morning won't be very bad. We all have our own rooms. So my wife and I have, of course, the master. My daughter has a room, and then my son has a loft area above us that has a couple beds up there, so he'll have a good space to stretch out as well. Full-size kitchen, and you can actually rent the basement of this house as well if you need it. We didn't need it, so we didn't rent it. But hey, if we have a good time and we like it, might go back on 2 wheels with some friends, and maybe we'll stay there again. So I figured I'd take you guys along for the ride. We're taking back roads. This is Highway 58, coming into a booming metropolis that is called Castalia. There are no stoplights. There is a caution light. They do have a fire department. They do have a Dollar General. And on top of a Dollar General, they also had, at one point, a Family Dollar, which I think has now merged, and it's a Family Dollar / Dollar Tree. So no stoplights, but we got $3 stores, so you know, that's how you know you're doing well. Just like much of the rest of the county, a lot of farmland. A lot of pickup trucks, busted sheds. And just so you know, when I turn my head that sharp, I am looking out of the corner of my eye to make sure that I'm on the road. But I've realized I've got to really exaggerate my head turn so that you guys can see what I'm seeing. So as we come into town, question mark, yeah, I'll just call it town. When we come into town, speed limit drops down to 35, which is mind-numbingly slow for how big the lanes are up here, and the fact that there is never any traffic. There you go. There's the Family Dollar Dollar Tree hybrid. I don't know how that works. You know, are you shopping at Dollar Tree, or are you shopping at Family Dollar, or is it, I don't get it. It's like two divorced people that still want to live together. I don't whatever. So here is downtown Castalia. They do a Christmas parade up here. And you get horses, you get four-wheelers, you know, classic cars, all that kind of stuff. It is serviced by the county sheriff's department. Really don't know a lot of history about Castalia, so I don't know, I'll make something up. Yeah, this is actually the house where Tupac was born. Here's our caution light. Right now, the U.S. Post Office. And they do have this community park, which is kind of nice. So, lots of good space to run around, get the energy out of your kids. Old cemetery. So this channel is going to be about, you know, my adventures. It's going to be about the places I go, taking you along for the ride. It's going to be about me getting my thoughts out. It's outside of that, I really don't know what it's going to become, right? Like the first video I did, I got a lot of really positive feedback. Folks didn't believe that was my first video ever. I promise you it was. I have never used Adobe Premiere Pro before in my life. And it probably, to a professional, shows. But, you know, I'm trying. So, again, I'm not trying to get rich or anything like that. I'm really just trying to share my ride with anybody that wants to come along, share this passion that I have. I absolutely love motorcycles. I've been riding for 16-ish years. Off and on, I've had everything from Harley Davidsons to Harleys that don't really seem like they're Harleys, to sports bikes, to naked bikes, to non-Harley branded cruisers. I've ridden even more. So I'd say I have some decent experience. I've ridden forward controls, mid controls, rear controls, mostly on highway. I've not done any track. Don't know that at this stage in my life I really want to, but hey, you know, maybe I'll do a track day, a beginner learner track day type thing one day. But yeah, it's I don't know exactly where this is going to go. So if you have an idea, if there's something that you would like to see, let me know. You know, if it's me taking you guys along for the ride to national parks, on either bike, on the Road Glide or the Pan America, if you have a preference. If it's me taking you on scenic backcountry routes around North Carolina on either bike, if you have a preference. If it's reviews, if you guys want me to find stuff to review or share my opinions on, I promise you I am not the type that's going to tell you something is great and grand if it sucks. I will flat out tell you, do not buy this. It is crap. You know, for me to have that hard of an opinion, it's really got to suck. But I'm not going to sugarcoat something just because someone either gives me something free, gives me a discount, or loans me something. So just keep that in mind. I don't mind doing that. I'm sure I can get plenty of things at good old Harley Davidson to try out and review for short rides around town, give an initial impression or whatever. If you want to see training type videos, you know, if you want to see from the rider perspective how you can do different maneuvers, if you want to see classes, would be a little difficult because, you know, the students would have to agree to being videoed, and I don't know that that'll happen. But if you want to see me go take training with other coaches, I mean, I've got coaches that I know that do the motorman type stuff, you know, the police style training. I'd love to do that on this bike. That's actually one of the reasons I purchased this. A friend of mine does that riding. He's older in age, and he does it and does a fantastic job riding I think he's on a Road King, and just does awesome maneuvering these cones, tight turns, slow maneuvers, full lock. And one of the guys that goes with him does it on a Pan America, and it is so freaking cool to watch. So I definitely did not want to go do that training on a almost 1,000 pound stage 4 performance bagger, if you will. So yeah, here we are. We got the Pan America to play on. You know, we could do some of that training. Whatever you guys think would be a good topic, I'd love to hear it. I'm not above praying with you guys. I'm not above sharing my view on the world. But just keep in mind, that's my opinion, and it's only one view, and it's not necessarily going to be the right view. It might be close, but just keep that in mind. So while I'm working on riding this bike, I am also working on editing footage of the Road Glide, and hopefully that will come out before the footage of this. I'm pretty sure it will. But I gotta say, when you guys either see it or go back to it or already saw it, you probably noticed the view was pretty much just the fairing. Like, you couldn't see down the road very well. So I gotta figure that out. Obviously you sit a lot lower. You sit into that bike, whereas on this you're kind of sitting on top of the bike. So I got to figure that out. I'm thinking if I take the mount for the GoPro that I'm using right now to record this video and flip it, then I can raise the GoPro up and be able to see over the windshield. It's got a tinted, I believe it's a 9-inch, maybe 9-inch Sport Flare Clockworks windscreen. And so hopefully you'll be able to see over that. All right, we're coming up into a school zone, so let's slow it on down. We're in 45 to, we need to hit 35. We don't. Super. So we'll stay up 45, 50. And then I'll need to speed up because there's a car coming up behind me and I just can tell he's going to ride my tail. Franklin County Sheriff protecting the school, all the little children. So that's the thing, guys, with speed on a motorcycle. It's very easy to speed, to get above your speed limit, especially when you're comfortable and you've been riding for a long time and you enjoy it. Obviously, you want to keep to a reasonable speed. Obviously, speeding is against the law. You know, the spirit of the law versus the letter of the law. If it's a 45 and you're going 46, you're speeding. The spirit of the law is, you know, there's some gray area there. Obviously, you're not going to be able to keep the vehicle pegged at 45 exactly, and then when you hit the line for 35, amazingly, you've already slowed down to 35. So there's some gray area there. But everybody around you is speeding, usually. And on a motorcycle, you need to be safe. So just know, I know what the speed limits are in these places, and there will be times where you will see that I will exceed that speed limit. It is for my safety, to either build a space cushion behind me, or to change my speed from the speed of things around me so that I'm more visible. Yeah, it's one of those do as you're told, not what you see type things. So like I'm going 61 right now, 60, and he's still closing up on me. So either he'll turn around or turn off or get up on my tail, and I'll figure out how to get him off, you know, either on or off camera. But another thing that I'm excited about for this motorcycle, I belong to an outdoor range, mainly so that I can shoot my rifles long distance, as far out to about 1,000 yards. Now, I could probably get creative and get a scabbard or whatever they call them for the bike that I could put a rifle in, but I don't think that's going to happen. Oh, that smells wonderful. But I could certainly take pistols on this bike. And it's down a really long dirt gravel road, and they're not paved back there, so I have not wanted to take the road glide. I used to take the road glide when I would ride to Raleigh to go to the shooting range out there, but I've not wanted to take the road glide. So I think I'll take this. So maybe next week sometime, if I've got some free time, I'll hop on here, throw a couple pistols in, and maybe we'll get some video of riding the bike to the shooting range, a little B-roll of shooting, and then the ride back. And that'll also give me a couple other roads that I've not videoed yet. So the area that I'm in right now always has really poor cell service for Verizon, which probably means AT&T gets decent service here, but Verizon definitely does not. My map just popped back up, which I know where I'm going. I don't need the GPS, but I figured I'd turn that on just so that you can get an understanding of what you've got with your GPS. So in order to have navigation on the Pan America, you must have the Harley Davidson app loaded on your phone, and your phone must be connected to the bike. If you do that, you get access to your navigation. You can zoom in. Let's see what else. Left and right does nothing. The center button does nothing. So I think I can pretty much zoom in and out. Maybe there's more that can be done, but you probably have to set it before you ride. If not, I'll figure it out and I'll throw it in another video. But that's about it as far as navigation. So it tells you where you're at. Doesn't tell you if there's speed traps or anything like that. So I prefer to use Waze, which I use in my car as well as on the road glide. And that guy is still riding my tail. But we're coming into town here in just a second, so he'll be hopefully getting off of my tail shortly. But I use Waze on the road glide and in the car. I wish the Pan America had CarPlay enabled, but sadly it does not. I've noticed on the 23, the diagnostic USB-C port on the right side of the controls of the instrument panel, that will charge my phone while the bike is running. There's a lot of conflicting information out there that it only charges when the bike is in accessory mode. That is not true, at least on this motorcycle. So I'm thinking perhaps earlier models, 21, 22 maybe, wouldn't charge while the bike was running, but the 23, at least this one, will charge while it's running. Old lumber mill that shut down during COVID and stayed shut down. So we are coming into the booming metropolis of Lewisburg. Lewisburg does have many more stop lights and places to go and things to see and do, but it is still very much a rural community. The cool thing is we will make a left at this light, and then I don't make another turn until I'm in Raleigh. So this is a uphill. There's that adaptive ride height that just lowered me down. We're in neutral, we're uphill. I just squeezed the front brake, the hill hold turned on, and now I'm hands-free. Don't know if you can see it, but there's that Chevy 2500 behind me. It's been riding my tail for the last 20 minutes. It's a mighty tall truck back there. Just kidding. If you drive one of those, good for you. If you drive one of those, good for you, question mark. Check it out, y'all. An original Pizza Hut.
A Pizza Hut, Kentucky Fried Chicken and a Pizza Hut.
You are not my age if you don't remember going in there and it being like the best freaking experience of your life. You got so excited to go to Pizza Hut for dinner, to stand at the buffet The salad bar was good. The pizza was good. They brought you all your drinks in the red cups. Oh man, those were the times. It was also back in the day when Taco Bell was much cooler inside. Back when you used to have your birthday parties at a McDonald's. That happened, folks. Birthday parties at McDonald's, and they were the bomb. You'd go to Baskin Robbins for a party. Those were always fun. Nobody wants to ride behind a dump truck, especially when you have a new motorcycle with a very tiny windscreen. That was very windy.